Let me start with a little story today. A long time ago in my rookie days in sales management, I'm purposely not calling it sales leadership, I'm calling it rookie days in sales management. I remember I had a superstar on my team, somebody who was hitting his numbers every single month, was absolutely carrying his weight and then some. And at the time, not knowing exactly how to lead people, I remember having pressured this person over and over and over again to increase his output. Over time, because of the ongoing pressure that I put on this person to do something more than he was already doing, not realizing how much of an all-star he actually was, he got so frustrated that he actually quit his job. The reason I'm telling you this story is because this person was actually good at his job and he was making a ton of money. He quit and went on to be a superstar somewhere else for another organization, and I was the big loser in the equation. Later on, as I learned how to be a better leader, I realized that when somebody's carrying that much weight for your team and they're an absolute all-star, the way to lead them is not to continue to pressure them to do things that they're probably already doing better than others. Instead of taking from my people over and over and over again, essentially saying, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? I need you to give me more. I started changing my approach to what is it that I can do for you? Instead of asking, hey, I need you to do this for me today, I changed my language to, hey, what can I do for you today to support you? Moral of the story is really simple. People don't quit their jobs, they quit their boss. My name is Levi Schechter. For the last 20 years, I've gone from sales to sales training to leadership training. I love what I do. There is no one way to do sales, but there is a right way to do sales. People don't necessarily buy your product, but rather buy the advice that you have to offer. I want to share my knowledge specifically around leadership training. I appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe and like. Let's get started. Okay, welcome back. I appreciate you being here with me today. We are now officially in the 6th session of a 6-part series on creating a winning culture. We've covered so many topics, from your first one-on-one to receiving feedback to getting in the trenches. Today we are going to be talking exclusively about gratitude. And in typical fashion, we're going to break it up into 3 chapters. Chapter 1, do you believe in gratitude? Chapter 2, are you authentic in your gratitude? And then finally, we're going to talk about how to actually show gratitude, and I encourage you to get a pen and pad for that last session. First and foremost, do you believe in gratitude? This is a serious question for all you leaders out there. There are a lot of leaders who still lead by way of fear. Those days are over, and I'm going to tell you something that you already know. It is officially an employee's market, and let me give you an example of what I mean. In real estate, they have terms like buyer's market and seller's market. In a seller's market, if somebody makes you an offer on your home that you're not exactly excited about, you could turn that offer down because you know you're going to get multiple offers probably within a day or so. The same is true for an employer versus an employee's market. At the time of filming this session, it's 2019 and the economy is actually really healthy and people can go out there and get multiple job offers. And I think it's time to realize that people know that. In fact, I was just for fun scrolling through LinkedIn and I typed in the term account executive right here in Phoenix and Scottsdale. There are hundreds of opportunities. They seem to be well paying, they seem to have good culture, and they seem to have really great growth potential. The market is very, very healthy towards the employee. They have a lot of places that they can go. So you, as the employer or the leader in this equation, have to start thinking about ways to keep your people healthy, happy, and retained. The reason this is even more important is because we, as a new generation of employees, are extremely conscious of the concept of time. If you think about time as a 24-hour window in the day, and you subtract the 8 hours that you're sleeping, then maybe you have an hour that it takes you to wake up, get ready, and commute to work. Then you spend 9 hours in the workplace, and then another hour wrapping things up, and then your commute home. You've now spent 11 hours somehow associated with your workplace. If the people who work for us aren't satisfied during this extremely important time, then they will go find somewhere else that does make them satisfied. Another reason for us as leaders to continue to practice gratitude and appreciation. Let's talk about being authentic in your gratitude. There actually is a really big pitfall here, and I'm going to take a little sidestep to address something that actually hurts you when you're attempting to show gratitude. If your gratitude is not authentic, people will see right through you. Let me give you an example. You walk up to someone that you hardly know and you say something really generic in an attempt to show gratitude, like, hey, really appreciate all the hard work that you've done for us, attaboy, and go out there and thanks again. Yeah, once or twice that might work for the novice recipient of the gratitude, but over time people will start realizing that you're fake and you're kind of a phony in the way that you give your gratitude, I highly advise you to do a little bit of research before showing gratitude, especially when you're showing it to an individual. Take a little bit of time, do some homework, do some research, and come at this person from a place of authenticity. Finally, let's talk about how to show gratitude through specific action. Number one, and this is really easy, and I'm surprised more people don't do this. In your organization, you probably have some spreadsheet where you can track the data of how your employees are performing. There's a really high likelihood that one of your employees is really near some sort of milestone. Perhaps if you work for an organization that does sales, maybe one of your people is close to $100,000 in booked revenue, $1 million in booked revenue. I would highly encourage to start digging through those spreadsheets and those data reports and then shout that out. It can be a public shout out. I love giving people public shout outs. One of my favorite ways to show appreciation is to start by doing research and then grab a group and pull them into a room, or maybe be the fun professor and grab my group and go outside for a fun session outdoors and say, hey everybody, I pulled you out here for one reason and one reason only. We want to give Mary a really big shout out right now because she is $5,000 away from hitting $1 million in booked revenue. Everybody cheer her on, give her high fives, and make sure you support her. She's really, really close, and we appreciate you, Mary. You're doing a really, really great job. Now, Mary, hypothetically, knows that I went above and beyond to do my homework, knows that I am really appreciative of how close she is. Chances are she knows how close she is to her next milestone, but she probably doesn't know that I know how close she is to her next milestone. By doing this research, I just pleasantly surprised her, and now she really likes working for a guy who does his homework. The other way that you can show appreciation, especially when you know people's milestone, is to send a text or potentially just pick up the phone. I know times have changed and we don't like doing that anymore. We're kind of spoiled by texts and by forms of communication that don't really have a personal touch. Imagine how excited one of your people will be if they get a phone call from you, maybe at 7, 8 o'clock at night on a random Thursday. They probably think they're in trouble because they did something wrong, but when they answer the phone, you say, hey, I'm literally calling you at 8 o'clock tonight because I was digging through some spreadsheets. I saw that you had more sales demos this quarter than anybody else on our team. I just am so thankful for all the work that you've been doing, and I didn't want to wait until tomorrow to tell you that. You just made someone's night by doing something like that. It's going above and beyond. It's based on real data, so they know you're not being a phony, and they are coming to work the next day talking to their friends and their family about how cool of a boss you are. Remember how we started this conversation? People don't quit their jobs, they quit their boss. A person can be successful in their role and still seek employment somewhere else. To some people, that doesn't make any sense. If you're not thinking about big picture, you might say, why would you quit a job that you're successful at? You're good at this. But you have to remember, people want more these days. They want personal growth. They want personal development. They want gratitude. They spend 70% of their lives that are awake in the workplace or somehow associated with their workplace. This is an emotional investment for them. This is a large chunk of their lives. It is important to show that next level gratitude, or else you will lose your people. But by showing it, you are now buying additional time, and they will love you for a really long time. Next, are you honoring your veteran employees? Chances are, if you do the math, the veterans in your organization are probably the most profitable people you have. The reason is simple. They don't need as much supervision. They probably know how to do the job really, really well. And if your organization encourages sharing, especially idea sharing, which I hope, don't get me started on that, it is possible that your veterans are also helping out the people around them and taking a lot of stuff off of your plate. Veterans in your organization are an invaluable part of your finances. They are generating income for you that you don't even know is being generated because they need little to no supervision, and they're probably helping the people around them, which maximizes your time in helping others. You need to find a way to really reward the veterans in your organization, especially people who have been there for a long time. We'll call it 3 years or more. There has to be some sort of veteran appreciation program. If you don't have one, put one together, create some sort of event, reward them in some way. They don't care about money anymore. They can make money anywhere. They care about gratitude and appreciation, and they need that coming into work more so than anybody. Next, and I'm on a roll here, this is a really passionate topic for me. Do you have some sort of group event that is rewarding people's intelligence? Let me tell you what I mean. Most bosses or managers will think of a group happy hour or a group celebration as the right way to show gratitude or the right way to show reward. Yes, happy hours are fun. Don't stop doing happy hours. I'm a huge fan of a group of people getting together, having a beer or two, and celebrating and enjoying life. I believe in that and I agree with it. With that said, that can't be the only group event that you give people. people. Remember, people need more than income right now. People are taking jobs because they want personal growth and personal development. So during your group sessions, try to show people something else. For example, when I think of certifications, I think about LinkedIn quite a bit. I'm a huge advocate of LinkedIn. I've talked about this a million times. If you go to LinkedIn right now, there are actually learning platforms that can help people really build up their resume and potentially build them up for future careers. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, you want me to get people certified on something that will make the resume look good and potentially leave me one day? Yeah. You should be doing that because you're encouraging them to develop their brain and you're the one that's giving them the opportunity to do that. Get your group in a room, start doing some of the LinkedIn learning platforms. There's some really good stuff on there, and it could be as simple as how to build better Excel spreadsheets. It could be a learning platform on better sales, better leadership. There is an infinite amount of learning material on LinkedIn right now. I highly recommend putting your people into a room, call it a lunch and learn or whatever you want to label it, and then get them to all do a group session. If your fear is that they'll leave you after learning new material, then you might not want to be in leadership right now. I know that's hard to hear. You should have the confidence that the more you teach people, the more they respect you, and then they will stay with you for a lot longer because they're hungry for this knowledge. They're not going to leave with the new knowledge they've gained. They're going to stay because you're the one giving them this new knowledge, and it's now become a source of wealth for them. And when I say wealth, I mean mental wealth, not financial wealth. There's a difference between the two, and mental wealth will reward you for many years after your money's run out. Hi there. If you like my content, subscribe. It's really, really easy. See that guy right there? This guy? Click on his face. Hopefully you love my content. Hopefully you want more of it. The best compliment you could pay is to hit the like button, comment, and I promise to continue to put out good material for you.